Epicenter Major Southeast Asian Close Qualifiers. Today's matchup, it's gonna be Mineski versus Geek Fam. So let's look at some quick storylines between these two teams. Mineski are on a slump. Unfortunately, they are. I mean, they've already suffered losses against Boom ID, against TNC, against Fnatic, against Evos Esports. So this is going to be their chance to redeem themselves. But unfortunately, they're going up against a team that's currently in a role in the Epicenter Close Qualifiers, which is none other than Geek Fam. Now, the biggest question on Geek Fam is, who is this sixth man? I mean, we don't know if the sixth man is Raven in disguise or he's legit the sixth man of Geek Fam. But in that previous skirmish against MYSG, he didn't really make any impact at all, so maybe this could be his chance to redeem himself. I mean, so far, Geek Fam were just completely outclassed by MYSG. Winter just doing a really good job outplaying Geek Fam. Alright, let's go for the selections coming from both squads. Geek Fam going for Enigma, Disruptor, and Lifestealer. So they got their wombo combo set with Enigma and Disruptor. And Mineski has some countermeasures to that with Vengeful Spirit and Sand King. Of course, Vengeful could just swap any important target inside Enigma and can be the sacrificial lamb, or you could go for Magic Missile straight onto Enigma to cancel out the Black Hole. So there are options that Mineski could deploy. Sand King could also be the alternative for Enigma with a simple Borrow Strike. Now they go for the Pangolier, a hero that's been a constant nuisance in attacking through the front or back lines of any opposition with the Rolling Thunder. And they go for Moon's signature hero, the Templar Assassin. Now, TA was been used by Moon to just like be a pseudo carry, whereas Ajit was like being the distraction for Mineski in that previous matchup against Boom ID. So they go for like TA to be the second carry after Ajit has done his job, which is to pressure Boom ID's lanes. The strategy was nearly okay, just that it wasn't able to push through until the end, as Fervian and the rest of Boom ID were able to go online to the latter stages of the game. And hopefully Mineski could learn from that mishap. I mean, they've already tried to change their draft a bit just to make sure that Geek Fam does not easily predict their movements. And they're hoping that this adjustments could actually bode well, because Mineski, as you all know, they're in a desperate situation. They have to win their next couple of games, because if they don't, then they will not secure a spot in the playoff rounds of this Epicenter Close Qualifiers. Geek Fam, on the other hand, let's see, Lifestealer, and then they go for Storm Spirit. So two of their cores have been revealed by Geek Fam. So Mineski, let's see how you could respond to this. Like, Storm and Lifestealer is a great composition to start with. And besides, whoever is going to play mid, which of course is going to be Mushi. So if Mushi is going to play Storm Spirit, he's going to brutalize your backlines. Like Storm Spirit, especially with the mana outburst, if he gets his items like Kaya, you'll be a constant threat, like harassing through your Sand King and Vengeful Spirit. And even if your Sand King just hides under the sand, Storm Spirit will always put out these lightning bolts away just to make sure that the Sand King is going to be negated. So bans by both squads. So no Terrorblade on the side of Mineski, no Morphling on the side of Geek Fam. Like, if you consider Terrorblade could actually be an alternative bet for the combo with Enigma and Disruptor. Although it's going to be greedy if they go for TB as like their core hero, especially if you want to really scale up well to the very late game, if that's what you want to do if you're Geek Fam. Now, Morphling has been a very standard core pick, no doubt, so you gotta ban him out. So there's no Omni Knight on the side of Mineski. I guess they want to make sure that their heroes are actually well secured. Does not have to deal with the Repel. The Repel is a very powerful disable. So any stuns coming from Vengeful and Sand King will be negated by that Repel, courtesy of the Omni Knight. Now the final ban onto Geek Fam. So you're currently in need of like a 4 or an off lane. PL gets banned. Because if you look at it, Geek Fam, they don't have an answer to the PL based on this lineup. Lifestealer is not good against PL. And of course, as much as possible, you want to create space for your Lifestealer. So we're going to wait for the final pick for Storm Spirit. I mean for Geek Fam. So Enigma could be your 3 or your 4. So I was wondering, wondering if they would really set it up with Naga Siren as your off lane. But Naga Siren has already been taken away by Mineski just to make sure this Enigma composition does not bode well. So they gotta look for other alternatives. Like, Tidehunter could be that individual, but Tide would have to wait for level 2 to make his Ravage an ultimate setup for Geek Fam. And that would actually be a complementary piece, unless... Okay, they go for Beastmaster. Okay, they're really gonna protect their Enigma. Like, Beastmaster is like one counter to Enigma, because Enigma, even if you pop the BKB onto Enigma, Aurora is just gonna stop Enigma on his tracks. Like, it's gonna wash away his momentum out. So Mineski, okay, how do you respond to this? So you got Beastmaster giving Geek Fam all the control. Map control, map presence, which is gonna be beneficial for Storm Spirit and Lifestealer to initiate the Infest Bombs strategy. So Mineski has to counteract with this. So Vengeful, Sand King, Pango, Templar. Pango is most likely going at the 3. So you need a core. You need like a position 1 that can really survive this barrage. So you got some magical damage from Storm. Of course, you got to deal with the Lifestealer. Some options on the bat. There's no Drow Ranger, one of the most popular heroes, but Drow may not be a good with this matchup, especially against the Storm Spirit. Troll Warlord could be off the bat, and Mineski's really having a hard time picking. Because look at it, all the popular heroes, Morphling, Drow, a little bit of TB as well, no Naga Siren. It's a tricky spot for the side of Mineski. PL as well is already out of the equation, so the reserve time is already being consumed after Geek Fam playing mind games to Mineski's lineups. Now, Chaos Knight against Enigma might not be a useful case. I'm still thinking what core that they can deploy. Or maybe Pango's going to be a core, as in a position 1. But I highly doubt it. Okay, so Mineski are really going to burn through everything. Like they've checked through their notebooks and their research material. Okay, here comes the final pick. Alright, they go conservative. They go for the Troll Warlord. Also one of the most popular meta heroes in this patch. So, that means they have to give space for Ajit. Now, Moon is going to be the aggressor. So, Ajit was the aggressor in the previous game. Moon, likewise, has to be the same, just to create space for Ajit. So, Moon has to get his Blink Dagger ASAP, and then he could just move around the map. That should be, like, Mineski's overall game plan. Like, give space for Ajit to get his Battle Fury, which could be, like, a potential difference maker, okay? The thing, however, is that this Mineski comp is going to be susceptible to Enigma, so Vengeful Spirit has to do a lot to make sure that Xepher doesn't get an opening. Otherwise, if Ajit gets caught by that black hole, well, it might not bode well for the side of Mineski. And here's the thing, you have a Beastmaster as well, so Scam could actually zone out someone else on the side of Mineski. So there's like 2 important heroes that could potentially be negated by the side of Geek Fam. And this might not go well. So, based on this draft, I feel like Geek Fam is going to win. Like, you can voice out your opinion on the chat. Like, who do you think deserves to win? Well, time to voice it out. And then some other factors to consider. Sure, you got Raging Potato as your Pango. Okay, so this is going to be a position for Pango. You're going to rely a lot on his Rolling Thunder to protect his teammates. Of course, he has to get the right positions if he wants to be that effective as a Pango. Because otherwise, if he gets caught by Enigma, he's going to get shut out. So here's the thing. Geek Fam doesn't really have a good setup for the Black Hole. It's not like a Naga or Enigma combo that they could deploy. So that's the one advantage that Mineski has that they could use against Geek Fam. I mean, if this is like a Naga, a Black Hole, then maybe Geek Fam would have an easier time. But so far, it's going to be way difficult. So what they have to do is to let Enigma immediately get his Blink Dagger and his BKB. Or if he wants to go early, then he has to make sure that the setup or the spacing or positioning of Mineski is at their favor for this Enigma play to work. So let's do some introductions on the two teams, Mineski being a Radiant, with Raging Potato as your Pango. And Ajit's going to be your Troll Warlord, Ninja Boogie as your Vengeful Spirit, and Moon is going to be your Templar Assassin, leaving KP as your Sand King. And on the side of Geek Fam, you have 6-Man as your Lifestealer, the Mystery Man, Mushi as your Storm Spirit, Play Hard as your Disruptor, Xepher as Enigma, and Scamberloo as your Beastmaster. So the zone out potential by Geek Fam is really good in this game. Mineski has to watch out for that. Laning phase wise, normally the side blades are intimidating for Storm Spirit, because Storm Spirit has to go near the creeps. So he's going to be an easier target for this Templar Assassin. You compare like Sniper laning up against Templar with Storm Spirit. Since Sniper's got the range and he could move out, he could actually survive the laning phase against DA. But Storm might have a difficult time. So it's gonna be interesting how Mushi can handle things on the mid lane, as Mineski get 2 of the bounties, and so as Geek Fam. It's gonna be 50-50 for both squads. Now Mushi though, blocking the creep camps as 6-man. This is an interesting change. Okay. So they're gonna put 6-man on the bot lane. Definitely not on the jungle. And they're gonna put Scamberloo on the top lane. Very interesting tactical decisions. So I guess they don't want this. Oh, actually, they wanna let 6-man, you know, farm up against Enigma. I mean, here's the thing though. You're gonna compete if you're Xepher, who needs items now, and if you're 6-man, you also need items. So it's gonna allow Xepher to just immediately go for the jungle. I guess they want to make sure that they won't have to deal with the Troll Warlord this early. And you have to add the fact that Pango and Vengeful Spirit Tri-Lane is just really gonna shut down the Lifestealer. So you want to make sure that 6-man is well protected, and this is a better bet. You'd rather lane against Sand King than lane up against 3 individuals like a Vengeful and a Pango with some good crowd control, and Ajit with some really good pressure. Now this mid lane matchup, so 5-1 compared to 4-2 in favor of Mushi. And so far Mushi has to watch out for those side blades. Just look at those damage. See, just look at the right clicks by Moon. Moon has like, so far, the upper hand in terms of like right clicks. At plus 68, plus 25, courtesy of the refraction. So Mushi has to be careful for that. Like, you can just... Lightning Remnant may not be ideal spamming it, especially with the refraction that's going to absorb a lot of damage. So here you go. 6-man already slowing down KP. Ready with the flesh wounds early. Yeah, this is a really good laning phase for Geek Fam. Like, Lifestealer is so dependent on getting his Midas and possibly his Radiance or Sanjin Yash that early, just so that his farm rate will constantly increase. And so far, putting Lifestealer solo, whereas Troll Warlord is on a tri-lane, is actually pretty good, because you could get his XP up, you could get his levels fast, and so far he could put on pressure onto KP. Just look at the right-click damage by 6-man. It's really making sure that KP has no breathing space. Now Mushi with this double damage rune, he's still hesitant. I mean, this is what happens when you're laying up against a TA. Like Moon is just gonna waste that double damage rune by Mushi. Actually, that's a very interesting mid lane matchup. Other than the fact that both Storm and Templar are like popular picks in terms of like the mid lane, and the fact that Templar is like a countermeasure to Storm Spirit. What's also interesting is that Mushi and Moon, they used to be teammates, so they know each other's playstyle. As Ajit gets a kill onto Scamberloo on the top lane, now they could go for more, as Play Hard might be harassed as well. These are 2 former teammates going up against each other on mid. So it's the Master against the Protege, as Mushi would oftentimes view Moon as his protege. Meanwhile, though, in this bot lane, just look at it. 6-man at level 4. And he's leading the last hits in denies because he could actually survive against KP. And other than that, he could actually do tons and tons of right-click damage over KP. So this is not looking a pretty good start for the Sand King. As you can see here, Raging Potato forced to go on the mid lane. And there you go. Moon and RP. Getting a kill on poor Mushi. And Raging Potato decides to sacrifice himself through the tier 1 tower to get himself back in the game within a nickel. Now with Mushi being dead, this allows Moon to constantly rack up his last hits and denies. So far, he's way ahead over Mushi, because Mushi only has 5 denies, whereas Moon has like 12. It's actually double. And his last hits are actually getting better and better. I mean, this is not a good laning phase for Mushi. I mean, every time Mushi struggles on the laning phase, Geek Fam in general struggles. Like, we've seen that against MYSGAU. We've seen that against Bo1. So Mushi cannot be outplayed in this game. I mean, he has a huge responsibility of trying to rack up that ball lightning. And he also needs to get that Kaya immediately so that he could make an impact on team fights. And besides, he's the one who's going to help Xepher get the space to pop out that black hole. As you can see there. Okay, 6-man was able to get the bounty, but KP in return gets it, so 2v2 as well. So far, Raging Potato as a position 4 Pango, really difficult to execute. Really have to learn how to time your swashbuckle. So far, Pango is a hero that's gonna be dependent on items as a position 4. So he might be consumed a lot as Mushi. Oh, there goes the Lightning Vortex though, but Moon capitalizes on that. The Moon already with the advantage on the mid lane. 33-16. And so here's the thing. You got Raging Potato who needs farm. Because he needs his Blink Dagger. You got Ajit who likewise needs farm because he needs that Battle Fury ASAP. Moon needs his Blink Dagger. So they're all going to compete just to get their significant items in this game. And look at this. Raging Potato can be easily read by Playhard and Mushi. Like, you need Blink Dagger on Raging Potato because his ultimate could be used effectively if there's a Blink Dagger involved. And just look at this 6-man. Look at the damage outburst he's producing. And Mushi could actually recover from this game. I mean, Sumail has done it before, when he was already being beaten as a Storm Spirit mid. And you see the glimpse back onto the TA. However, there's a Vortex onto Ninja Boogie, but Raging Potato through the backlines, Magic Missile pop onto play hard. Now Mushi with the right clicks though, trying to slow things down. Xepher jumps into the action zone. Moon charging onto Mushi. Mushi slowing Moon down, but it doesn't really seem to work. And a Magic Missile by Ninja Boogie stops down the offensive machine by Xepher. So it's really going to be a struggle there by Mushi on mid lane. They were able to get the kill Geek Fam, but Mineski is actually snowballing well on the mid lane. And Moon with that Blightstone, yep, that's really gonna wreck Mushi's life. Like, armor reduction, add the fact that the side blades are doing its damage, then the Storm Spirit is certainly gonna have a rough ride, no doubt. Let's look at its net worth, and just look at this. Mushi is 2,000, Moon is 3,000, 1,000 ahead. They're gonna rely a lot on Scamberloo to provide vision for the team now. Glimpse back onto this kinetic field, however it misses as Moon runs away. Playhard cannot even time those kinetic fields effectively. I mean, that's very, see, this is the difficulty on this Geek lineup. See, without the Naga Siren, it's so hard to execute. Like, you either play mind games with Mineski, which what Bo1 did against them, and they have to do the same if you're a Geek Fam. Now Mushi, forced to go in the jungle, he has no choice. He's got to farm this jungle spot. He needs to get his momentum swinging at his favor. I mean, he is already at level 6, but obviously he needs his items to be very effective. Now 6-man. Yep, he's just going to constantly bombard through KP. But KP is actually surviving pretty well. Even though, like, 6-man is just harassing him, his right-click damage is just so phenomenal. The thing is, KP is actually doing a pretty decent job shutting off the potential aggression by 6-man by just going through sandstorms and caustic finales onto the creep wave. So it's a very effective strat by KP. And he could actually farm really well in this game. Mid lane though, oh, there's a glimpse back onto Moon, getting caught there by the kinetic field onto the electric vortex. There's a roar onto Moon. Moon has no options for escape. Ball lightning in, and Moon goes down. And that's going to be important. Mushi gets the finishing touches. Remember, Moon is like in the top of the net worth charts, and now Mushi being able to kill him means he's going to get some additional bonus. And that's a start that Geek Fam desperately needs. They got to make sure that Mushi gets going. Now Zephyr, gonna think about it, they spot onto KP. Oh, Bordo Strike onto KP. KP may not like this though. Swashbuckle misses though, but KP still manages to get through Zephyr. Caustic Finale doing its dirty work. But 6-man seeing the level gaps, just harassing through Raging Potato. There's the Rage. But KP still manages to snatch the bounty away from 6-man, and Mineski get 3 of the bounties, as 6-man is going to get through it. They get 4, and Scam gets Ninja Boogie though. And KP, oh, nice rejection of the Sentry Ward to make sure that 6-man will not further aggravate all the way. Now Moon on the other hand spots on to play hard. Level 5 play hard, no kinetic field but the glimpse back. Now Scamberloo is going to lean up really well against Ahit so far. He's surviving pretty decently. Of course, getting a kill onto Ninja Boogie is indeed very important. But of course, getting a kill onto Ahit will be a much more important task. Now, Scamberloo, he needs to put his hawk around the map because he needs to create space for Mushi to farm. They lost a tier 1 tower. Of course, the jungle would be the best option for Mushi, other than the lane, because he's getting wrecked on lane. So his vision will be so important, because that could be like a decisive factor for Mushi to help his team, as Geek Fam go for the smoke gank. And they might spot Raging Potato. Of Raging Potato, can he hide it all off? Now 6-man gonna chase onto Raging Potato. There's the glimpse back onto the static and kinetic field. Raging Potato, there's nowhere else he could go. But here comes Ninja Boogie through the backlines onto Zephyr, and Bordo Strike onto Zephyr as Ahit and Ninja Boogie blow Zephyr away. Now 6-man forced to retreat. He has to back away. He's not yet ready to engage on the skirmish. I mean, that was a good setup there by Geek Fam, and also a good response by Mineski. Static kinetic field onto the Pango will not lead for any sort of like counter initiation by Mineski to potentially obliterate Geek Fam. And of course, you want to stop Zephyr, because if Zephyr has space to go for Black Hole, then that will be good news for Geek Fam. Like, sure, you may have gotten the kill on the Pango, but then Zephyr has like, yep, you got some more options, which is the Black Hole. And if you're Mineski, you would not like to see that, especially if Mushi is going to teleport through that section of the map. Now Geek Fam going on the rotational antics. KP is aware of it. Now 6-man going 1v1 with KP. As Ninja Boogie gets killed by Mushi, as you can see. KP, oh, Bordo strikes away to safety. A roar to stop off that teleportation scroll as KP gets shredded apart. A good setup by Geek Fam. A proper use of the Smoke of Deceit. And Zephyr is just using the Hell Bears as well as the other minions efficiently. Like, they're just used to constantly bait off targets. Of course, the additional speed boost that the Swiftness Aura provides is actually going to be very beneficial for the side of Geek Fam. And so far, Zephyr is just going to really farm up well. So he's got his Helm of Dominator. And if he gets his Blink Dagger BKB instantly, then Mineski is going to get shut down. Now Moon going 1v1 with 6-man. Just look at the damage. The Blightstone really affecting 6-man. Okay, the meld as well, forcing the intimidation onto 6-man. Geek Fam, on the other hand, are trying their best to push through this tier 2 tower on this bot lane. Mineski trying to do the same in this top lane. Where, on the other hand, Mushi is about to recover. He's got his Kaya. Pretty good news. Fourth, he's actually fifth, which is okay, because compared to like before where he was like 6th or 7th, now he's actually recovered pretty well. And he could actually help his team push through this mid tier 1 tower, and they desperately need to push this Ajit. He's just gonna throw some axes, and here comes the backup though. Mushi has to run away. Oh, look at that though, Playhard getting caught, but the action is happening here as Raging Potato pops out that Rolling Thunder. Playhard goes down. Scam already popped a Roar, but he might's gonna sacrifice his life. Can he TP out to safety though? Yes, he does TP out to safety. The Swashbuckle, and of course that third passive spell wasn't really enough to shut down the Beastmaster. So you do lose Playhard. It's pretty good if you're a Geek fan, as long as you don't lose your cores, especially Mushi. You're fine, or you're good to go. And besides, 6-man has all the space needed to farm, which is what's happening. And he's eyeing for that Radiance, which will certainly shut down any blink factor on the side of Mineski, because they got some blink factors with TA, and potentially with Sand King. And there you go. But actually, Ajit was able to deny the tower over Mushi. But here comes KP there onto Mushi, and Mushi, for a very long time, he wasn't killed, but now he's back to his own death count. And while that's all happening, 6-man wouldn't even seem to bulge. He's actually doing a very intelligent approach, just avoiding the fight for now. Mineski trying to push through these towers, they have to do so. Although Xepher is actually going for the split push option, just to distract the other members on the side of Mineski as 6-man TP's out. It's not just Xepher, even Scamberloo is likewise split pushing as well. I mean, you got the Satyr, you got the Eidolons, you got the Boars. Yep, this is a massive army indeed for Geek Fam in the bot lane. As Raging Potato goes for the Rolling Thunder onto Playhard. Playhard gets killed. So Mineski trying to steamroll their way. Getting these pickoffs onto Playhard. While that's happening, Xepher is just going to push through it. So here's the thing. Mineski's distracted with what Geek Fam is doing. Scamberloo nearly could have popped a Roar. Xepher getting killed for overextending, trying to go for the split push option. Didn't really work out well, but here comes Mineski going for a smoke play. Raging Potato leading the charge. He has no Rolling Thunder. 6-man is the best target. Now Ajit just gonna stop out the vision of that Beastmaster. 6-man could actually TP out. Oh no, he's actually caught out by the blink in onto the Burrow Strike. And that's just too much for a 6-man to receive. Ajit with the finishing touches indeed. Some overextensions. Now we go here. Mushi. Oh, look at the glimpse black there. Oh, nice ball lightning. Oh, Roar is popped out onto Moon. So they lose one of their primary cores, Geek Fam. Mineski likewise lose the other main force, as Mushi is going to get obliterated. So that's going to be a huge loss for Geek Fam. They lose two. Lose two of their important heroes in this game. You lose the Lifestealer, and now you lose the Storm Spirit. And so far, Mineski is leading number 1 and number 2 in terms of overall net worth. Ajit already has a Sanj and Yash. He does not need a Battle Fury in this game. He's going straight for Sanj. I mean, of course, that usage of the Battle Trance was indeed important. Raging Potato doing his job as well. And Xepher, he has to get his items ASAP. Sure, he may have the Arcane Boots. Even warding for the team as well, so might be detrimental in terms of his overall farm rate. Now KP is just gonna stall his stay, gonna move away. He's got the Blink Dagger, he's got the Veil of Discord. That explains why he could actually burst out anyone, especially the Lifestealer, when he was caught sleeping. Now 6-man going for that Radiance build. He does desperately need that, as Mineski's going for this Roche Pit. Ajit could actually get through it. Remember, an epic play could potentially happen anytime, but a Boro Strike shuts it down. So no more epic play now. Raging Potato with the Rolling Thunder. Forcing Geek Fam on the retreat. Play hard, go for the kinetic and static field combo. Alright, here comes Muji attacking through the backlines. Gets a kill onto Ninja Boogie, but Ajit attacking through. There's a roar popped out. Xepher is disarmed. Can he actually wait for the right moment to go for the black hole? He's actually waiting for it. A two-man Boro Strike. And Xepher, goes for the black hole, but of course the damage outburst by Mineski is just too much for him to handle. Gets shredded to ease. So Geek Fam getting obliterated. They did not lose Mushi. They did not lose Six Man. Six Man was trying his best to go on that jungle side to help, but it's already too late. You lose a lot of members. If you're Geek Fam, you have nowhere else to go but back to your base. And Moon is just going to utilize his Desolator. Got the Blink Dagger. There you go. 10k gold lead in favor of Mineski. They're going to go for the tier 3 push. However, top lane though, Mushi nearly getting caught. He's got to thank his teammate Play Hard for that kinetic field to keep him alive. Of course, his combo with 6-man has yet to be finalized. They'll have to get this combo set up. Because if this Lifesteal Infest Bomb onto the Storm Spirit, that's going to be like the primary play to help you contradict Mineski, especially if they're caught in utter shock if you're Mineski and then you get caught by the black hole. And the roar, that's going to be huge. It's just so hard to execute.
Amazing what you found lying on.
There's some itemizations as Mushi. He's gonna go for Orchid as they go to catch onto Moon. Moon gets caught, the refraction and invisibility doing a lot, forcing Mushi to retreat. Mushi has to run away, but Xepher was able to get a kill onto Ninja Boogie. Oh, look, nice catch onto Scamberloo. Ajit with the net. So much right-click damage by Ajit with the double damage rune. Root someone. That's going to prevent Geek Fam from escaping. So that's 2v1 in favor of Mineski, with a 13k gold lead in favor of Mineski as well. You lose a Beastmaster. You lose an Enigma. Those are two important heroes on your lineup. Now they could go for more, as Play Hard is going to get caught. There's a static kinetic field combo. 6-man, however, just look at that. He cannot even seem to go forward. There's a Veil of Discord on him. And Moon's got that Desolator. The damage outburst is just going to be too much for him to handle. Boro Strike though. But here comes Mushi with, okay, look at that. Ajit has already got light. Mushi is trying to do something. His Moon is just breaking through the back lines. The Desolator damage is just so much. It's forcing the retreat onto Geek Fam. They have no answer to this. Like, they're going to wait for Scamberloo again to pop out in the base. Now, this is finally the momentum that Mineski desperately need. Troll has a Satanic. So that explains why he's not an easy threat for the side of Geek Fam. Now, just look at the damage there by that Desolator mixed with the Meld by Moon. Glimpse back though. Oh, there's a catch though, but look at this. Ajit attacking through. Xepher, there's a roar popped out to Ninja Boogie. Removing Ninja Boogie from the equation, and that could go for more as Moon is turned invisible. Moon tries to hide himself. Refraction popped out. Ajit, however, already goes for his ultimate. And with the rest of the team, they're just killing Geek Fam. Oh my goodness. Annihilation onto Geek Fam. Oh, 6-man. Can he TP out to safety? Ajit. They're just going to ignore the 6-man. And Mineski are going to push through the racks. I mean, Ajit with a well-timed battle trance. And he's not going to be an easy target to catch because he's got Satanic. And Geek Fam, they have no response. Like, Mushi was outplayed at mid. Yep, I mean, I don't know why Geek Fam actually opted to go for Storm Spirit in front of the TA. It's an instant counter pick. So I guess they're trying to look for ways to execute their combo. Xepher could not even land a single black hole in this game. Like, I like what Mineski's doing. They're putting Ajit straight to Xepher so that Xepher won't be able to pop out his black hole. So without that black hole, Xepher is currently negated. And Xepher doesn't even have the right items to engage a proper black hole. He doesn't have a Blink Dagger. He doesn't have a BKB. It's really a struggle for him. And then combine the fact that you got a Pango chasing after you with his ultimate. You're in a rough spot if you're Geek fam. And Mineski have already secured 2 of the shrines from Geek fam, and they're going to go and push through the tier 3 towers. And the family, well, they have to make something out of this. So Orchid of Malevolence onto Mushi. It might be too late. Moon is already online. His damage outburst is already online. Just look at how much creeps he could kill within 2 hits. Look at how he can melt the tower. A Raging Potato though. Here comes the scouting intel. This is not good for Geek fam. If they lose Scam, it's a disaster. Moon has the BKB. He's going to charge in further forward. Raging Potato with a nice setup. As Mineski going to take a secure a set of racks. Now Mushi jumps in, but this is not a good spot for Mushi. Can he run away with ease? Zephyr trying to find an opening. Aurora has been set, but Ninja Boogie with a clutch save to make sure that KP lives on. Black Hole is popped out just for Ajit, a desperate measure, but then Ninja Boogie with the save indeed. Now Ajit going to charge further forward. Scamberloo tries to run away. Of course, the Infest Bomb does not seem to work. There's a Portal Strike, and Moon just going to right-click his way to the death of Geek fam, as Geek fam are just forced to run away. They lose a lot. They may have lost, Mineski may have lost Raging Potato, but Geek fam have nearly lost almost every member. And of course, they have to force multiple buybacks as Ajit is forced to be caught there. But Moon's damage is still unscathed so far as KP is just attacking through the back lines. Look at that. Zephyr goes down. Zephyr, there's no way he's going to live through that. Yes, he does go down 163 seconds on his black hole as GG is already declared by Geek fam. Mushi already waving the white flag. Yep, I mean, it's got to do with that laning phase, no doubt. The mid lane matchup was like horrendous for Mushi. The setup was not really that smooth for Geek fam, as Mineski were able to secure an easy victory over their rivals. So stay tuned, we'll be back for some more Dota 2 action. We'll take a quick break.